All right, we're live. What? Come on. What is it? It's a video. In case someone misses, they have a chance of actually catching up. Okay?
You will share it, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to post it on YouTube. The one that we did yesterday, it's taken the computer 6 hours. There's this thing called rendering. You know what rendering is? You take the picture and then I cut it and edit and then you press this button and then it takes 6 hours to make it all a thing that I can put on YouTube. Okay. Now if there's some parts that you don't want in there, you just come up to me and say, you know that part where I said da 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 da? I don't want the world to know about that or see that, and I'll cut that out. Okay? If this so this can't be a barrier to your self-expression. However, do you know what I just said? If this can't be a barrier to your self-expression. However, being a leader and effectively exercising leadership, you will be a public person. And people will take pictures and they'll record you and you'll see yourself and you won't like it and you'll have to just deal with it, right? There's a lot of things I saw about myself yesterday that I didn't like. I say, I'm gonna, do you know this expression? I'm gonna have a beer. It's like slang. Or I'm gonna catch a taxi. This slang, it's not like, I'm not teaching you proper English, and I wouldn't and shouldn't talk like that in front of a bunch of professors. Or I give myself a little bit more leeway with y'all. Oh, that's another one, y'all. That's not proper English. There's no such word as y'all, except for in the South. But you still, you will run across it in literature when somebody's writing what someone said. But if you're going to publish a paper, you won't use the expression y'all. But it's my way of saying the, because we don't have that in English. Yes? All right. By the way, you guys, this is your last class of the day. Yeah, and and you should be tired and worn out, kind of thing. Yeah? But do you notice you kind of wake up for this conversation? You all have done a really good job of staying present in this conversation. So I acknowledge you for that, hanging in there like that. Okay? What else do I need to tell you about? Okay. Class list up to date. Okay, 4 people. This is an integrity, right? I started talking about this, right? That there's 3 elements to the leadership course. There's 4 foundational factors, a contextual framework, and constraints. Remember constraints? Okay, tell them the drill. Good. Okay. So integrity is a foundational factor. So you'll see me putting in the integrity. And it'll kind of look strange to you. Like, okay, you said you were going to be here at 16:30 and everybody was ready to go at 16:33. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. Okay, so we acknowledge that, put that behind us, and go on. So that's, we'll cover this more. So that's an integrity issue. All right, so 4 people promised to do collages. He knows what to tell you. Okay, hi.
Hello.
Hi, have a seat. Okay. Do you notice what happens? So this is an integrity conversation. Do you notice what happens when somebody doesn't keep their word and they come late? Do you notice the disruption, right? I lose my train of thought. The person's embarrassed. You all have a reaction, her embarrassment, right? And then things it's like you want to start and roll and start and roll and start and roll, but you can't, right? Do you notice? So we have this saying, without integrity, nothing works. So when you put the integrity in, everything works well, but when the integrity is out, you have a limited set of opportunities. This one, get it? I'm going to tell you this 20 times till you get it like you dream about it. Okay, so 4 people promised collages. Will those 4 people raise their hand? Get it up there. 1, 2, where's the other 2? Okay, and did you do a collage?
Yep.
And did you do a collage?
Yes.
Okay, now the other people, I don't know what happened. We don't know, right? So do you notice that's kind of like, it leaves you wondering, kind of puts you in your head. I'm going to use it. This is a term of art that we used to use a long time ago. I'm going to resurrect it for a little while. And it's, the expression is it puts you in your head. And it makes you start thinking. You go, gee, I wonder where they are. I wonder what happened if they didn't do that. Oh my gosh, right? And you start talking to yourself about that they did that, right? And it's a disruption. Can you see that? So that's a cost, an impact of the out of integrity situation. Okay, so you had homework to bracket your judgments and evaluations, to notice what they are, like how human beings automatically judge and evaluate people based on how they look, how they sound, where they are, everything. Do you notice? Do you remember that assignment? You're supposed to notice that. And then set it aside and listen for, that's a term of art, it goes in your book if you have it, and listen for who they could be as a contribution. That was your homework. Raise your hand if you did that homework. One person? Ah, okay, good. All right, I think that completes the homework part, the promises and the requests. I made some requests, you made some promises. Even if you said, you know, if I gave you something to do and you didn't, and you don't tell me I'm not doing it, it's a promise as far as the leader's concerned. It's your promise. If I say, okay, I ask you to do ... and you don't say anything, that's still your promise. Unless you say, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I would say, okay, thank you. And, you know, we'll negotiate it. I will say, you know, well, it's not going to work for you to be in this class if you're not going to do what I said, right? Okay, so let's look at what displaces. Hi? And what, are you observing what I just said a little while ago?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's a cost. That's the impact of an out integrity conversation. She missed this whole thing, what I said. And now it's going to sound like Greek. As I go on, she's going to kind of be lost and then want to say, what the heck is this leadership thing? And she's going to want to leave. Unless one of you take her aside and kind of fill her in, you know, and she's open to being filled in. We can resurrect this person. All right, so let's talk about, I asked you to do this, notice your judgments and evaluations, and then bracket that, set it aside, and listen for that person as a contribution. Now, what happened that didn't get done? We're going to examine that. By the way, you know, you're not wrong. This is an opportunity for me to deliver the leadership course. Nobody's wrong. You're not bad. Okay? We're going to look and see how human beings ordinarily work. And then we're going to look at what's extraordinary. But you have to look at it like a fact, not just like, you know, something that happened. No one's wrong. No one's bad. It's just something that happened. But there's something that displayed. When I asked you to do that, you were all right with doing that. You may even thought that was a good idea. Yes? And you wanted to do it. Did anybody just say, oh yeah, I hear what he's saying and I'm not going to do it right off the bat? Raise your hand if you said, okay, I got that's what he wants me to do and I'm not going to do that. Does anybody say that to themselves? You know, there's this dialogue that you have with yourself all the time, and you tell yourself things. Yeah? So when I asked you to do that, what did you tell yourself?
Okay, I'll try.
Huh?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, I'll try. Well, this doesn't apply to you because you did it. You did what you said you were going to do. You fulfilled your promise.
I did a collage, but I don't work with my attitudes with people, not judgment.
What? Oh, you didn't do the part about. Oh, okay, yes, good. Okay, sorry, I collapsed conversations. Yes. So what did you say to yourself?
I'll try.
I'll try. And then, did you have any more thoughts about it?
No, I think this morning I forgot.
Okay, so she said to herself, I'll try, and then the conversation went out of existence. Yes? It's gone. That's cool. What else? Who else? What did you do with that request that I made? Hello? So, do you know, not everybody's hands up. What's driving sitting on your hands? Do you know what I mean by what's driving? Huh? What's driving? What's in control here? What is that all about? That I ask a question and you just sit there and look at me. What's driving that? It's a human condition and something that you're probably blind to. And remember I talked about we're going to look at what filters you're seeing through. We're going to look at what filters you're seeing through, and in seeing right now it's just like this, and you think you're seeing life is the way it is, and everything's just fine. But what I want you to do is look at, oh my gosh, I'm looking through that filter. So that's what we're doing. And we're in two conversations right now looking through the filter. And there's something driving you're not talking, and there's something driving you're not doing what I requested. Okay? Are you willing to discover what that is?
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Can you jump around and catch it? Catch yourself? What is that? What's driving your... Is that a hand up?
Yes.
Yeah, do you notice human beings calling me?
You were just
Yeah?
telling something, and I don't want to raise my hand and tell yes, jump up.
Because
You were telling something.
I'm saying something.
Yes.
Oh, you don't want to interrupt me.
Yes.
And you're being nice and polite.
Okay, yes.
Right? That drives human beings. We are nice and polite. You'll see that's my second strong suit. I don't know, you probably don't know, you don't know what that means yet, but it'll make sense later. That's my second strong suit, to be nice. And I can't make a difference what I'm up to. You saw what I was up to yesterday, right? And if you want to tell her what I was up to, I can't stop. This is another integrity. I can't stop to bring everybody up to speed constantly. So you're going to have to bring each other up to speed if they're going to actually do this course. But you can see that I can't be a nice guy and produce that result that I put up on the board, can I? It's not likely. I'm going to be an interruption in people's lives like you can't believe, because I know that most people think it can't be done. And I'm an interruption in stuff that can't be done. Right? Okay. So, be nice. What else? What's driving your participation in here? What is that? Huh?
Rules in the Kim Academy that we can just interrupt. For example, the teacher just need to wait when they, for example, end the talking, and then we can also maybe just one of the way.
You're waiting for me to end.
Yeah, just to have some pause.
Okay, a pause.
Yeah.
Is that being nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you are telling something or just saying and we interrupt you, then you can just lose your mind. Not lose your mind, but just forget what you were talking about.
Okay. Alright. Okay, what else? What else?
Just
do
some
you
people afraid.
afraid
Yeah.
of
To be judged by other people.
afraid to be judged by other people. Aren't we mad about that? We won't say what we want because we're afraid they won't like what we want. So we don't communicate. We're withheld. We sit there on our hands and wish and don't talk. Yeah, don't we? Because we're afraid to be judged. Excellent. What else?
Maybe judge not by our thoughts, but English level.
Huh?
Not everyone have a good English level, so we can be afraid about language or express.
Yeah. Yeah. What's another way of saying that? There's another way that just
Draw.
people, huh?
To draw it is.
Draw.
Showing pictures.
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you mean?
To explain your mind.
yeah.
Draw what?
List of paper.
Another way to say bad English.
What?
They're trying to explain the ways of explaining their mind.
Not verbal. I mean, not
You
verbal.
want me to draw something?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but
You want me to draw something? I can't.
say again your question, please.
Let's state the question. Well, you said you're. I might not say get this perfect how you said it, but basically what you said is, I'm not. People are afraid. I'm afraid. And we're afraid in here to speak because our English might not be very good.
Yes.
Yeah, you said that.
Yes.
Yes. Now what I'm saying is, what's another way to look at that? See, there's, yeah, there's a box that comes in, kind of like a context, a box that comes in. I want to get at the box that what you said and what y'all are pointing at. There's it's like a context, but the context is normally created in our terms of art. Context is reserved for something that's associated with the future. But there is a kind of a default context that this resides in. Can you see what that is? What is that? Will somebody say something else? Why aren't you participating? We have this participation thing on the map, and I don't want to forget about. Let's see, participation, and and what you said was you were afraid, and what else? Somebody said something over
But
here.
English.
Judged, yeah, judged. But the judgment is really driven by a fear, yeah, afraid of being judged, yeah. Now, we need to come back here and talk about the homework, right? You left me with the expectation that you were going to do that exercise, right? And that exercise is critical to get the course done. But if that doesn't get done, we now have an opportunity to talk about what displaces this. That's a human being kind of thing. And you'll see these are constraints. We're starting to talk about constraints. And I need to handle these before we can actually do the course. Right? These are constraining you, not only in doing, they show up in this course, as we lead this course, they show up here. But it doesn't constrain you just here, or just being a leader. It constrains you everywhere in life. And we're going to look at that constraint and create some freedom for you around that. Okay? So that's the work that we're doing. This is part of the leadership course. This is how it works. Can you see that we're on the court with some things?
Yes.
Okay, this is very on the court. It's not particularly comfortable either, is it?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So, judge, people won't understand me. Yeah, that's where we are. People won't what is that about? Somebody say something. Here, it's a good time to say something. What is that about? Here, judge. Yeah?
We're afraid to become silly in eyes of our classmates,
Yes.
and it's all grounded on our fear to be apart. So
Yes.
our start of human being, more like close society, and if you're apart, you're dead, literally, because you can hunt alone, you can have feed yourself alone. So for us, being social, it's very important. Not for us, just us, but for people, humans, and being in social means being a part of some structure that can make us live. So for us, this
Make us able to live in the social, like society. Yes.
Okay, are you telling me that you have to fit in?
No. I think that this fear is bound on some instincts that we have.
An instinct.
Yes.
Okay.
That we should be in group, in society. So for us, it's very important.
To fit
What?
in.
No, it's always important. And it's also important what other people think about us.
Yeah.
Because if
totally.
we are silly for them,
Yes.
they don't want to speak with us, communicate with us, so we are apart.
Yeah, I get
Out.
it. Is that a limit to your self-expression?
For me personally, no, because I understand the nature of this fear.
I don't think so, but we'll see.
No, I can explain it to myself.
Well, you-
so that-
Hint, and then put your name tag where I can see it, please. But where I can.
But
I
she
don't know,
is-
but I can put it there on this thing here. So Marco?
I just wanted to say the same, that conformism, we are afraid to be different, and yeah, that's all. And she's girl, so maybe she will say something more
I wanted
clever.
to comment.
What?
Maybe she's girl, she would say first. I just wanted to say that stuff that.
Okay, well,
Nera
in
said.
here you need to speak for yourself.
Yeah.
What that is about girls is a prejudice,
Okay.
right? It's some belief that you have. Remember we talked about beliefs? It's a belief that he has, that's like a prejudice, and it limits his effectiveness with what he calls girls. Yeah? Can you see that would limit his range of effectiveness with women, having that kind of filter? Yes? Yeah? Okay.
I wanted to comment a position about being afraid of other people, their judgments. For me, it's not right because I guess Socrates said that say something and I'll see you. And
Who said?
Socrates.
Socrates? Okay.
Yes. Say something and I'll see you. And if the person is silent, if this person doesn't say anything, the group won't see him. He will be just like a ghost for the group, and you won't be a part of team. Even if you say some silly things, people will notice you. They will have maybe different opinions about such person, but they will know that you are in this group.
Yes.
And I think it's not a right position to be afraid of someone.
It does limit your self-expression, doesn't it? No one can know you unless you open your mouth. Yes? And it might not be popular, and you might be judged. Do you know? I saw your hand, so I'll come back. Do you know what? Hold on. If I was afraid to be judged by you, do you think I would be standing up here? No. And do you know that you judge me? Right? You're like, what's with this purple? You know, you were talking yesterday. How come the tie and the suit anyway? And with the socks don't actually match a brown. And it was like, why is his hair so short? And I know that you have this thing that goes on and on and on about me. And if I had a problem with that, if I didn't like that, I might as well have stayed home in bed, right? And we could forget about the red areas on the map. So, anyway, yes, so that underlines what you said. Did you, what?
I want to say that it isn't good to be afraid of being judged, but we are taught of this. When we were children, our parents said that we have to be so nice, we have to listen to our teachers and so on. And during our way from little child to today, not everyone, but adults, that we have to listen, we have to behave in a good way, be polite, and so on. So,
Exactly. You're totally right. Exactly. Our past as a childhood and how we were taught and what we were told, that past, we file that in the future so we know how to act. As a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, as a teenager, we know there's things that happen to us. We were embarrassed when we raised our hand and the teacher said, "You wait till I pause." Young, right? The teacher said that, yeah? And so we go, oh, I need to wait till later. So that thing that happened in the past, you file that in the future so you know how to be, yes? And you be polite and you be nice, right? There's tons of stuff that happen in our future that we have, past, that we have filed in the future. We're going to get that on file, by the way. You have to see that that happens. And that's a way that human beings are wired. You didn't invent that mechanism. You inherited that when you were born a human being. Yeah? So, this looking good is what I was kind of looking for. You said that in other words. We are totally driven by looking good. We do not want to look bad. We'll almost die before we look bad. In fact, consider all the people that kill themselves. A large part, they are too embarrassed because they don't have enough money, they aren't supporting their family, they don't have a good job. They're deathly afraid to look bad, so much so that it's better to just forget it, right? Check out. Yeah, but we are totally driven by looking good. So that's why you won't raise your hand because you're afraid that you will look bad and you'll say the wrong thing. Yeah.
What did you say is to make a mistake?